last week on Junkrat.
Yeah. Pretty good job.
Quote-unquote pretty good.
Yeah.
But Volskaya Industries, it'll be the double sniper meta here for Drop Bears. No real surprises there. A Kraken back onto the Roadhog, so he gets to do some hooking. And Dignity, they're going to be going for, again, not a fairly standard sort of dive double widow, or double sniper, sorry, composition. But the Sydney Drop Bears, their comp is really designed to kind of nullify the effectiveness of what Dignity is trying to do here.
Yeah, serious pick potential with the Hog. We'll see if they're going to be pulling in those snipers as they push through, trying to find the angles. But for now, everyone's still alive. This is a good start to the round. We'll see what Dignity can do here. I would expect to see them grab this first point. It's going to be the second point that really is the tricky one, I would suggest, when you have that defender's advantage. Going to come through, try and go round to the left to start things off. A little bit more difficult perhaps when you don't have that proper, shield tank like a Ryan or an Orisa to work with. But unfortunately, Dio's going to go down first. Jordation finding the pick of Kraken onto Special Kid. Both supports down already, Jordan. So that is the play that you want to see out of the Drop Bears.
Definitely. It's a big loss early on, losing Dio like that. And then Sydney Drop Bears with the immediate response. Perfect from Drop Bears. And like I said, this is Drop Bears. Their composition really is going to make life difficult for Dignity, because all it's going to take is one hook out of a Kraken, and we probably say see you later to one of those Dignity players. Not to mention the pick potential from Colorhex and Jordation.
Oh, talking about pick potential, Yui onto Jordation, who should theoretically be resurrected here by Bertlog, and is. But the question is, can Yui find a pick to finish that off? No. Unfortunately not. So, Dignity able to move a little bit closer forward now to the point. Oh! Pete's going to go down. Yui will find Colorhex. No resurrection this time around. So definitely one scope down here for the Drop Bears on defense. Make that two. Jordation picked up. Valkyrie popped as well now by Dio. And this might be enough, Jordan, to get Dignity across this first point.
Would have loved to have seen that shot from Yui's perspective, but Yui's being the hero right now for Dignity, being able to get these picks onto Jordation and onto Colorhex. Really makes life so much easier for Dignity. Once you get those two picks, you can kind of just
use the Dragon Strike. Oh no!
He got it.
Actually, does manage to get it off. I was worried for a second that was going to be far less than ideal. Look, they're going for a bit of a weird hold here, I would suggest, of the Drop Bears. And Dignity, really, I don't know, they're going to pick them up. They're still going to get the point. There's nothing that the Drop Bears can do to stop this. Yeah,
that was a nice self-destruct out from Mini. Okay, Dignity. Let's see what you've got here. 5.5 minutes to push on to point B of Volskaya. This is where things do come unstuck. Yui has been having a good job good time on the Widowmaker. And Colorhex has swapped off onto Genji, so he's not too keen on taking those Widowmaker battles. That's +1 in the Dignity book.
It is indeed. Look, Pizza's going to get picked up there, but now Yui going to find two. Colorhex and a Kraken both going down. The res coming out right now from Bertlog. And the Genji stays alive, manages to get out before getting picked up again by Yui here, who, to be fair, has some reasonable sight lines from that position, but just struggling to find a second pick. The first one was half decent, that is to be sure. But right now, the Drop Bears finding the picks that they need here on defense just to slow this down. But 4 minutes 50, John, that's a ton of time for Dignity to work with.
Yep, if Yui's going to continue to snipe like he has, and considering there's not really much to counteract that on the side of Drop Bears, short of Jordation hitting a really sick shot with Hanzo, life's going to be a little tough for the Drop Bears. But I don't know if Yui's going to be able to have enough of an impact. That's really going to be the battle here for Dignity, is if Yui can get a couple of picks before the fight starts. If he does, sure, then they have a chance. If he doesn't, no chance.
Sheo just battling it out, going to have to drop off the high ground, has the self-destruct to use, but Jordation playing from quite a distance here, throws out the Dragon Strike. In response, we will see Special Kid with the Zenyatta Trance, and Colorhex looking kind of low, will get found out by Render as well. This isn't half bad, coming out from Dignity. The self-destruct on defense from the Drop Bears won't find anyone, and if Render can find Jordation, which he does, this is really good. These are the plays that they want. Can they find the ticks? At least one. All three would be fantastic.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do this by the looks of things. Dignity pushing into the second point. It's not being really ticked up too much just yet because Sydney Drop Bears are still trickling, staggering onto that point. Jordation now on the Tracer, potentially to try and stall a little bit longer. Ooh. Great shot hit, though, by Render. 98% up for him. We're going to see Dragon Strike out shortly, but it seems as though Dignity, even despite their being able to get all these picks, have kind of fallen off the point.
Yeah, Render going to be forced back there by the Genji and found out in the end by Colorhex with the Dragon Blade. So if you can pick up a second, that would definitely make this Dragon Blade worth it. Special Kid going to go down there to Quats.
Even though he only gets one there, Ben, he's actually done a really good job with that Dragon Blade because he buys so much time for Sydney Drop Bears there. You can see, obviously, Special Kid and Yui both looking in his direction, which means they're not focusing on the fight at hand. That allows Sydney Drop Bears to get an advantage there. And look at how many picks we saw Dignity get, so many kills. It seemed like Sydney Drop Bears were really on the rope. Not a single tick capped up there by Dignity
I thought surely they were going to find one, so a little bit unfortunate perhaps for Dignity in there. We talked about, of course, that defender's advantage, Jordan. It's so much easier to spawn in as the defensive side here on the second point in Volsky. That's obviously how assault maps work. But Yui has swapped across to the Brigida off the scope there from Widow before. Straight away, we'll find Colorhex looking to follow it up with another pick. That would definitely help out the chances of Dignity here. But look how long it's taken, Jordan. Yep. Sure, they lost one, but when it takes another 15 seconds to find the second, that's a great positioning coming out from the Drop Bears. Jordation onto you with the Pulse Bomb as well. Great work.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that this Brigida is a good swap for Dignity because, in theory, it's actually a great counter to Genji and Tracer. And it does get a good pick onto Colorhex initially, but realistically speaking, when you look at the Sydney Drop Bears, they just don't seem concerned at all. And it does negate some of the damage that Dignity is going to be able to put out. And they're not really being able to put enough damage out even when Yui was on the Widowmaker going absolutely nuts. And so now with him on the Brigida, well, they're going to have to dive in really, really hard and commit to every single fight here. Otherwise, Drop Bears are going to run away with a pretty easy victory. Jordation
lurking in the back line, ready to go. Fortunately, no Pulse Bomb, and actually going to get picked off or at least spotted by Special Kid. So going to slow it down, but straight, look at this, straight onto it between the Tracer and the Genji.
Great
and
dive.
Quats there as well. Finds two. Great plays coming out from the Drop Bears. Quite aggressive as we spoke about before, Jordan. And Jordation is going to be up ready to go with his Pulse Bomb as well.
Yeah, just so much coordination out of the Sydney Drop Bears. They're going to continue on forward here, trying to stagger. Not quite going to be able to get the pick there onto Mini's mech. But all in all, Drop Bears have bought themselves some more time. And what was almost 6 minutes for Dignity is now just over a minute. Not a single tick capped up here by Dignity, and it just gets so frustrating at this point. You continue to bang your head against the wall, and you think, what am I going to be able to do to even get through, get this point? And they had opportunities, to be sure, Dignity, but they just haven't made any of them stick. Drop Bears too good.
4 ultimates available here for the Drop Bears, 3 for Dignity as Render throws out the Dragon Strike. Unfortunately doesn't find anyone. Colorhex up on the high ground with the Dragon Blade, trying to find the kills. Look, he's not going to find any, but the rest of the team does. Special Kid down, Render down. That's one support out of action right now. Yui's the second to go as well. And Dignity going to be forced to fall back. 2 ultimates in their pocket. Maybe Mini with the self-destruct if they're lucky, but they've got 25 seconds. They're going to be forced onto the point if they make it at all. They're going to have to rush, Jordan.
20 seconds, not going to be easy. Pisa, though, does have Primal Rage, so if anyone can get there, probably it's going to be him. Somebody's going to have to try and do it for Dignity, and they definitely are going to be able to get there in time, but staggering onto the point like that is not going to make life too fun at all. Pisa goes jumping in, he's popped the Primal Rage. They'll be able to get the overtime here, but the fight win is a little bit more questionable.
Look, the majority of Dignity are not on the point as well, so the Drop Bears in great position to find some picks, but 2 have gone down. Bertlog out, Quats out, no Resurrect available. Dignity potentially can make the most of this. Onto the point they go, but their numbers are starting to dwindle. The respawn's going to come out as well from the Drop Bears. Colorhex with the Dragon Blade, self-destruct in the backline as well. No one goes down, everyone's still alive, at least from the self-destruct, Jordan. But as you say, they are now halfway there. Dignity working hard.
Primal Rage.
Well, is it going to be enough? They're halfway. They're pushing through again. These spawns going to continue to come out here by the Drop Bears as Dignity one by one should get picked up. It gets harder and harder and harder to stay on the point as the attacking team. And one by one, the Drop Bears are finding the kills they need. But 50.1%, considering that it almost looked like Dignity were not even going to make it back to the point in time. Taking half, look, I'll say good on them.
Yeah, that's better than what I thought it was going to be for Dignity, to be honest. It really looked like they were going to be full held there on the second point. Gives them something at least to try and defend, but if you do get through the first point here as Drop Bears, 50% is not so menacing. And realistically speaking, Drop Bears, they've looked so on top so far today.
Yeah.
That Dignity are going to have some difficulty here, but there was some shining lights for Dignity there. Yui, in particular, on the Widowmaker on the first point was exceptional. And I thought maybe Yui being able to get the better of Jordation on Lijiang Tower in the Widowmaker duels, okay, fair enough, given that Jordation isn't necessarily the primary Widowmaker here for Sydney Drop Bears. But to also be able to do that against Colorhex is very, very impressive. And admittedly, we only saw it, maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
But it's still a good early start there for Dignity. If Yui can continue to do that, continue to get those picks early on in the piece, Dignity have a chance of defending this. But it's really going to come down to those picks, and generally speaking, Sydney Drop Bears have been better at doing that.
Well, it looks to me like the Drop Bears are going to be playing triple tank, with one support, that being Bertlog on the Mercy, and then Colour Hex and Jordation as the snipers. Not a real surprise, to be fair. We've already seen them use it today.
Well, this is the meta that you really want to be running with as Sydney Drop Bears. You know that you feel as though you're very likely to be going up against the double sniper. When you've got the Orisa shield, that kind of negates it quite significantly. Not to mention the Diva is there as well, and then you just slowly progress on forward as that shield comes off the refresh, inevitably looking for the combo with the Holt and the hook from Quats and a Kraken. And all in that meanwhile, Colour Hex and Jordation are going to be just jumping around behind the shield. Maybe not so much Colour Hex, but he's also going to be looking for picks. So it's a very, very scary big potential composition here from Sydney Drop Bears, and it does also nullify quite a bit of the effectiveness that the double sniper does have.
And the thing is, even player for play here, Jordan, Drop Bears, really very, very talented on all these heroes that they're playing. So even if it was a mirror match, you would think that they would have the advantage. So this is definitely going to make life tough here for Dignity. Great choice coming out from the Drop Bears to play this comp. We'll see what they can do already, being able to push on to the high ground of that middle building. But Jordation going to be the first one going down to Yui. And Colour Hex looking to find the Mercy, but unsuccessful.
Yeah, if he picks up Mercy, that could almost be the fight one there for Drop Bears. That's a great shot, though, onto Yui. 2 players now down. Well, a D-Meg, I'm going to count that as a player down. Inevitably, though,
may as well be.
The Drop Bears are absolutely tearing apart Dignity here on the first point.
They are. Great plays coming out across the board from the Drop Bears, finding all the picks that they need. And to be fair, on their first push as well. So when we look at that time bank heading into Objective B, they're going to have a real advantage, certainly more time than Dignity have. And now they only need to hit that 50% mark, and that will get them across the line. 50.2 is more than enough, or precisely enough, I guess you could say. Colour Hex trying, but not succeeding.
It's
Thankfully,
okay.
Bertlog's there. Could res if they want to. I don't know if how that matches up with timelines, or whether they're going to wait potentially for him to change. There you go. Going to change across to the Genji. Going to keep everything else the same, however. Not a bad choice, to be perfectly honest. Jordation on the left, firing across to the high ground. Has those Storm Arrows available as well, but Yui finds another pick. Yui actually having not a half bad game here on Volskaya.
Oh, well, he's been really good, actually, not just on Volskaya, but also on Lijiang Tower as that Widowmaker. Definitely hitting his shots, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. Sydney Drop Bears, they still have enough to get through Dignity most of the time. Maybe that'll change here on Volskaya as we push ourselves onto point B.
Dragon Strike thrown out, doesn't find anyone. A Kraken have the whole hog. You can see this going off in just a second. Look at it. Pushes everybody off the point. That's so tough to deal with in this scenario here. And the rest of the team in behind the shield with the Orisa, the pick onto Mini. Almost successful. In the end, actually, is going to be successful as the mech is destroyed. The rest of the team is looking tough. Again, the picks coming out from the hog every time that hook goes out. Now the supercharger as well. This is prime position for the Drop Bears to find the 50.2% they need. Shoyo with a huge self-destruct onto 2. Jordation onto Pizza. Everyone's gone. See you later. Drop Bears 3-0. Congratulations. Will defeat Dignity. One map still remains, Jordan. They're looking for that perfect season, and now they're just 1 map away. Yeah,
3 or 4 perfect Holts out there as well from Quats. He was doing so much work on Orisa. The first one to kind of pull everyone back into a Kraken's whole hog. The second to allow a hook to come out from a Kraken, and the third was what allowed that double kill to come out from the self-destruct. So great work there from Quats. Kraken as well, you got to give a shout out to. He was really putting so much damage out there on the Roadhog. And I mean, Sydney Drop Bears, it's all sort of working in unison. The perfection is there again. And we have to keep going back and saying that it just doesn't seem like anyone has that kind of cohesion that the Sydney Drop Bears do have. And while Yui had a great game on the Widowmaker, we just saw that fantastic pick that he got on the first point against Colour Hex. It was not enough. As soon as Sydney Drop Bears really get their full 6 composition ready to go, ready to roll in onto the point, they just have that little bit of individual extra firepower, cohesion, coordination, what have you, and they dispatch of Dignity with relative ease once again.
And the thing is here, right, on the second point of Volskaya, if you're attacking, it's great to find those first couple of picks if you can get them. Yeah. But you want to get, look at this, all these players are going to die in about, the same 5 to 10 second block, which means that there's no one there sitting on the point, no one annoying you. There's no Lucio bopping around that you're trying to pick off, no Mei there causing a ruckus or anything like that. Everyone's gone. See you later. and they can get that clean sweep across the board, which is exactly what you need to be doing when you're attacking. The defenders have that spawn advantage. So 3-0 right now. The Drop Bears looking so good today.
Yeah, you talk about the clean sweep right now. We're looking for the clean sweep for the entire season for Sydney Drop Bears. They're up 3-0 right now, which is going to put them at 15 maps and 0 losses. If they close this one out at 16 maps, 0 losses, and then all they have is next week to play, and it's looking fantastic for them right now. So I don't see anyone stopping them. This is exactly what we saw, for example, from who was Masterminds last season, where they got the 19-0, but inevitably they ended up tying a map against Tainted Minds of all teams.
How odd was that?
It seemed like it was really set up for them, but they just missed out on it. But this now, I think this Drop Bears is actually even looking better than Masterminds did last season.
I agree. The Drop Bears really, this is again, I suppose, like the Drop Bears that we saw last season as well, where heading into that, was it the final game or the second final game? They were looking so good, and
second last, yeah.
Yeah, they got destroyed by Masterminds, but that's not going to happen. There's not that other team that they haven't played that's on top of the ladder to defeat
I think it's like
them.
Bin Chickens yet to play for
well,
Tainted Minds. So you kind of look at Bin Chickens that they haven't won against anyone yet. So
yeah, Drop Bears.
You put David versus Goliath.
Looking strong. Bit of a tough day for Dignity, but to be fair, everyone's having a tough time up against the Drop Bears, as you can see by a scoreboard that indicates they haven't dropped a map yet.
Yeah, definitely not looking like a fun time.
Drop Bears in name, not by nature, Jordan. No dropping maps at all.
No dropping maps, yeah.
Next is Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yep, cool, I guess, for Drop Bears. They haven't actually played it this season, so kind of hard to say.
We're going to learn something today then, Jordan. We'll see how they're feeling here on this map. Heading into the fourth and final map of our first match of the day. But this is only match one.
Yep.
We've got 3 matches across today. All of Group A are playing. That's why I really like this format. Monday's Group A.
Yeah. As of
Tuesday's Group E.
That's right, yeah.
Unless, of course, you don't live in Australia, in which case it might not be Monday.
Might still be Monday, or might still be Sunday.
Yeah.
Somewhere, wherever you are. But as of today, we've seen Drop Bears playing on every single map now. They've played Lijiang Tower, which they missed because of the forfeit that they did get, the forfeit win that they got earlier in the season. They played Volskaya just then, and now we're going to see them on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And well, so far they've got 100% win rate on every single map that they've played, Ben. And they might yet continue that here as we get on to Watchpoint Gibraltar, and I definitely think that they're going to be able to do that. Color Hex and Jordation, we'll expect to see them back onto the Hanzo Widow. Maybe an opportunity for Color Hex to go on to Farah here, but I don't think we're going to see it in favor of the Widowmaker. And it's just going to, again, be the same old. A change up as far as the tanks are concerned for Drop Bears, and that's obviously due to the verticality on this first point. Shoyu and Quats, they need to be able to jump up and down and move around quite a lot, which you can't do so much on.
I was going to say, Roadhog and Orisa have a lot of good attributes, Jordan. Jumping up and down is not one of those attributes.
See, my thing is, like, why don't we just give the Roadhog a Spider-Man ability where you can hook yourself to walls? Well, and maybe we can do the same for Orisa, where she can pull herself up.
Why doesn't everyone have a hook, Jordan?
That's
good idea. Why don't we give everyone a jetpack?
Let's go.
Let's not. That's why you're not a game dev, Jordan.
Make everybody Tracer.
Bad ideas across the board.
Let's give Roadhog Blink.
Oh my goodness. Well, Dignity out here on attack. Drop Bears on defense. Drop Bears looking for the 4-0. Dignity trying to find a map. This is their last opportunity today to do it. To be fair, they'd be the only team to find a map off the Drop Bears. So it's a lot of work to be done. A tough ask, some might suggest, but we'll see. First pick going to go to Jordation once again.
Pain.
I do love seeing Jordation here on the Hanzo. He seems to hit the vast majority of those arrows as well.
It's really insane. It's really insane. He plays it like, it's almost like a hit scan for him, even though obviously Hanzo's not hit scan. But
it's almost like Soldier with
100 billion damage per shot.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, not actually the case. He's just that good. Just that good. So you can see the payload stopped here. A Kraken going to find Render. That's definitely going to make life tough. Unfortunately for Dignity, they're trying to play the high ground, but they're not actually able to get over the top for whatever reason. The Drop Bears in some good positioning.
They're scared of Color Hex.
Yeah, man.
He's sitting back on the high ground.
Tough.
And then obviously they have to, if they dive through the tank line of the Sydney Drop Bears, they have to then kill Color Hex. And he's quite far back that, you know, it seems pretty much impossible for Dignity to get to him.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough challenge, to be perfectly honest. And Jordation, the combination of maneuverability and his successful aim. Look at this, straight through with the Storm Arrows. At least Mini can use the right click, throw the umbrella out, and defend herself and a team for a little bit. But Dio going to go down to Quats. Still, it's not even just the DPS they got to watch out for here, Jordan. It's the tanks, it's the dive, it's all of the things. And now 2 minutes on the clock for Dignity to push through. Not having all that much luck, but going to have 4, almost 5, almost 6 ultis ready here for them. So the advantage is going to be at least on their side of things now. We'll see whether they can get through this first phase on Watchpoint Gibraltar, but that doesn't help.
Nope. Should be resable.
Brenda, where's this Dragon Strike? I want to find the perfect Dragon Strike. Throws it through. Is it a little bit low, or is it going to find some kills? Unfortunately, not going to be the case, and going to get forced back there as well, but everyone's still alive as they say that Dio goes down, and now Dignity only have Special Kid and the Transcendence available for use. It's not going to be used this time around. I feel like it's going to try and hold them together for one last push, but unfortunately, they're going to have a Kraken there with the Trance of his own. They're going to have Quats as well there as with the Primal Rage, and Show with the Self-Destruct. It makes life so very tough when the defenders have all these items that they can use, all this utility.
Yeah, you see that pick onto Quats and you think, oh, okay, maybe there's a chance here for Drop Bears. They've been able to get a kill, and then straight away, a kill out from Colorhex, a kill out from Jordation, then the D-Mech goes across onto the Diva as well. And Dignity, again, are back in that hole. Mini especially just trying to charge up the mech, but only at 72%. That time is ticking down. We're at 35 seconds left for Dignity.
Yui looking for a pick, would love to find Bertlog. Look at this. Going to follow Quats out, but stays right behind the wall. Dignity in their last push here, Jordan. Pizza up into the high ground. Self-destruct comes out. Jordation trying to level up this ultimate, ready to go with the Dragon Strike in just a second. And as you say, No Mercy is available now for Dignity. That leaves just Special Kid to do all of the healing with that Transcendence. And this is going to be their potentially final push.
Yeah, Quat's getting right on top of the DPS there as well. A good Transcendence out from Special Kid does keep his team alive, but it is popped early. It's not going to help them get onto the point and push that point on forward. Dragon Strike is out now. Who can stand on the point? It seems as though it's going to be no one. Overtime ticking away. Eventually someone jumps right on top of it, but right now Colorhex is going nuts on that Widowmaker. Gets another kill. Actually, it's a Kraken to shut down Dio. But all in all, it doesn't really matter who's getting the kills at the end of the day, as Dignity are just falling by the wayside again and again. Sydney Drop Bears, they look untouchable.
So strong here on defense of Watchpoint Gibraltar, and look, to be fair, one would anticipate that they're going to be strong on attack once again. They have been so good all season long, so good today. Well, there's not much you can do when you're playing against a team like this. Really at the top of, well, they're definitely at the top of the leaderboard, and I can't help but feel definitely at the top of both groups here. We'll have to wait and see how playoffs go. Yep. But even if they're in first seed, which I think they pretty much got locked down now, if they haven't already.
They would, yeah. If they get a 4-0,
so that means they're going to be going up against the 4th seed from Group B. The only, for me, the redeeming factor here of this particular situation, certainly not for 4th seed in Group B, is that Group B is so up in the air, Jordan, that 4th seed could be anyone.
It really could be anyone at this point. I guess there is an opportunity still for Sydney Drop Bears to fall out of first place if Legacy beats them. Legacy is the one that they have to play next week, not Bin Chickens, as I thought before. But it's very difficult to believe that Legacy is going to be able to get the win over Drop Bears. They would need, to get the win over Drop Bears, and then it would be sort of like a 3-way tie between Blank Blue, Drop Bears, and Legacy. And then it comes down to sort of map wins and head-to-head and all that sort of stuff. But unrealistic.
I'm watching the satellite. Is that the anticipated trajectory of the satellite that we're launching, or is that a different satellite? I feel like it must be.
Who knows?
It must be the satellite that we're launching here, or trying to launch.
Let me just call up my friend Jeff for you.
Yeah. Good. No, it's good lore. I'm sure it's the satellite we're launching. I could be wrong, but it's Overwatch Contenders Australia, supported by McDonald's Australia, which is pretty exciting for all of us, I must admit. And this is the Drop Bears up against Dignity. The last map of this match and the last round of this match. Potentially a 4-0 here for the Drop Bears to make them 16-0 after 4 matches. Only 1 remains for them now.
Carnex is actually running Doomfist as well.
Oh, dude. He's going to get right in amongst it. I love a bit of Doomfist. I don't like versing him, but I like watching him be played.
But look at this. It's just, I mean, Jordation gets 2 kills there. He's got the resets. Quat's another one. Carlex hasn't even really had to do anything here on the Doomfist, but Dignity have already fallen to bits.
Yeah, look, the
map
dive,
over.
man, came out. It's hard to deal with, let's be real, and that is that. 4-0, congratulations to the Sydney Drop Bears and what is, so far, an unparalleled Season 2, undefeated, won every single map that they played and have done so quite convincingly.
Yeah, I think there's maybe one overtime that they had that was against Blank Blue, but short of that, every single map, every single round seems to be so confident for the Sydney Drop Bears, and no one's coming close at all. Certainly not Dignity this week, certainly not Tainted Minds last week. Really, all it falls on the shoulders now is of Legacy next week, and we'll have to see how Legacy can do. But the way that Sydney Drop Bears are looking right now, I guess we have to wait and see how Legacy goes today, but I just don't see Legacy being able to stand up to this kind of domination.
Well, that's it for me, right? Legacy at the end of Season 1 up against the Drop Bears, the Drop Bears before the finals in Season 1, like, I think that would have been a closer matchup than what this, but I could totally be proven wrong because I feel like I've talked up Legacy quite a lot this season, and I think they play pretty well. So for me, if they can either take it to the Drop Bears or take a map off the Drop Bears, that's going to be huge, I think, and you know that would be such a huge confidence boost as well for Legacy heading into playoffs. And again, it would also show that there's a chink in this Drop Bears armor, which, as much as I love seeing a team in the region play so very well, at the same time, knowing that there is a chink in their armor would be something good to have heading into the finals.
Well, what would be really great is if there was, you know, another stage above the AU finals where Sydney Drop Bears would, I mean, in theory, we're assuming Sydney Drop Bears wins in this scenario, but if they were to go overseas somewhere and play against more international teams, then you don't want to see that chink in the armor. Then you want to see them just absolutely decimating everyone else in their region. But right now,
I want to see them.
You want to see those close games.
Blank. I want to see them play OG Blank and see how that game goes.
I mean, that could be a very close.
That would be such
I could
a
definitely
cool game
see Drop Bears winning that one.
And for me as well, I'm excited to see how some of these players coming through play in Overwatch World Cup.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that blank OG roster that we saw last year. There's a bit of a mix this year, so that's going to be exciting to see how some of the players coming who are living in Australia now. I think everyone's actually living in Australia at the moment, but you know, those players that have come through this year in the AU scene.
I think it's a Kraken, Yuki, and Punk are the three that are from AU contenders, and then the rest are from Blank Pacific. So basically half the team. Yeah,
so that's pretty exciting. Then I'm excited to see how that plays out. But right now, John, it's our Macca's play of the game. A Macca's play of the game between the Drop Bears and Dignity. It's going to be Jordation on Hanzo. And look, to be fair, when we watched this originally, it was kind of like, oh yeah, this is exciting. But look at these plays. He's found 3 there already. And up against the Genji, it could be tough as well.
So I said, okay, he maybe missed 1 shot. I'll say he missed 2 shots there, now that I've gone and had a look at the replay. But just insane, the amount of shots that he's able to actually hit.
Even cleaning up Pizza there in the end. Great work coming out from the Drop Bears and from Jordation. A very worthy Macca's play of the game, I would suggest. And to be fair, there are a lot of good plays coming out from that match for the Drop Bears.
I think
it really could have been anyone.
Second play of the game, by the way, in 2 weeks. Last week he got it with the Riptire, I'm pretty sure, the 4K Riptire. So 2 in a row for Jordation, not a bad one. And I'm sure Color Hex is going to be feeling a little bit disappointed by that because he really would have been gunning for that Macca's play of the game as well when he was playing Farah in those first couple of maps.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in probably any other scenario, he probably would have won.
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty of it, right? When you have someone that, like, you're doing so well and you're like, you can't even begrudge the guy that gets the play of the game because you're like, okay, fair enough, we're on the same team, so you can have it. I'll get it next week.
They've still got next week and they've still got playoffs, so lots of time for them to pick up those Macca's play of the game. At least they have someone on their team when they do win that's vying for the chance,
Better our team to get it than the other team.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. So that is 1 match done, guys and girls. We are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, game number 2, more Overwatch Contenders Australia action. We'll see you soon.